The illusion of freedom, a web of control. We believe we are free. We scroll, we click, we share. But the internet, our modern public square, is not the bastion of free speech it pretends to be. Behind the veil of likes and shares lurks a powerful force-controlled opposition. Like puppet masters, they pull the strings, shaping narratives and manipulating public perception. They present the illusion of choice while herding us toward predetermined conclusions. This is not just about censorship. It's about control. It's about using seemingly independent voices to manipulate the masses. This is a silent war for your mind. We are being bombarded with carefully curated information designed to shape our beliefs and behaviors. The internet, once a beacon of freedom, has become a tool for mass manipulation. But by understanding the mechanics of controlled opposition, we can begin to break free from this web of deception. The first step is awareness. We must recognize that the internet, for all its potential, is a double-edged sword. It can be used to enlighten or to enslave. The choice is ours.
Section 5. Conspiracies and control herding the masses. Conspiracy theories are another powerful tool of controlled opposition. By promoting outlandish and easily debunked theories, they discredit genuine critical thinking and inquiry. When someone questions the official narrative, they are immediately labeled a conspiracy theorist and dismissed as crazy. This effectively silences dissent and reinforces the dominant paradigm. However, not all conspiracy theories are created equal. Some are deliberately planted by intelligence agencies and other powerful entities to muddy the waters and distract from the truth. They are designed to be easily debunked, making anyone who entertains them look foolish.
Section 6. Truth-tellers versus controlled assets, discerning the difference. In this age of deception, it's more important than ever to be able to distinguish between genuine truth-seekers and those who are controlled opposition. This requires discernment, critical thinking, and a healthy dose of skepticism. Genuine truth-seekers are driven by a sincere desire to expose corruption and injustice. They are willing to speak truth to power, even at great personal risk. They are independent, often marginalized, and their work is rarely promoted by mainstream media. Controlled opposition, on the other hand, often enjoys mainstream platforms and support. They may make some valid points, but they always carefully avoid crossing certain lines. They never challenge the fundamental power structures or expose the true nature of the control system.
Section 7. The erosion of trust. Democracy under threat. The proliferation of controlled opposition has profound implications for democracy and public trust. When citizens can no longer trust the information they are being fed, they become disillusioned and apathetic. This creates a fertile ground for tyranny. Democracy relies on an informed and engaged citizenry. When the public is constantly bombarded with propaganda and disinformation, it becomes impossible for them to make informed decisions about their own governance. This leads to apathy, cynicism, and ultimately the erosion of democratic values. Furthermore, controlled opposition undermines trust in institutions. When people see their elected officials, journalists, and other authority figures parroting the same scripted lines, they lose faith in the system as a whole. This creates a dangerous power vacuum, which can be easily exploited by those who seek to consolidate power and control.
Section 8. Critical thinking in the age of deception. Tools for empowerment. In this age of deception, critical thinking is our most powerful weapon. We must learn to question everything we read, watch, and hear. We must develop the skills and discernment to distinguish between truth and lies, between genuine dissent and controlled opposition. One key skill is source analysis. Who is behind the information? What are their biases? What is their agenda? By asking these questions, we can begin to assess the credibility of the source and the information they are presenting. Another important tool is lateral reading. Instead of just reading one article or watching one news segment, seek out information from a variety of sources. Compare and contrast different perspectives. Look for common threads and discrepancies.
Section 9. Breaking the chains, reclaiming our minds and our world. Breaking free from the grip of controlled opposition requires more than just critical thinking. It requires action. We must be willing to challenge the dominant narratives, to amplify the voices of genuine dissent, and to create our own independent media platforms. We must support independent journalists and researchers who are courageously exposing the truth. We must share their work widely and help them reach a larger audience. And we must be willing to have difficult conversations with our friends and family members who are trapped within the matrix of controlled opposition. This is not a battle for the faint of heart. The forces of control are powerful and entrenched. But by working together, by raising our awareness, and by refusing to be silenced, we can break their grip on our minds and reclaim our world. Section 10. The power of awareness. United we stand. The first step to breaking free is awareness. We must awaken to the reality of controlled opposition and the sophisticated tactics they use to manipulate us. We must educate ourselves and others about the dangers of propaganda, disinformation, and censorship. Once we are aware of the problem, we can begin to see through the illusions. We can start to identify controlled opposition and their hidden agendas. We can develop our critical thinking skills and learn to discern truth from lies. But awareness alone is not enough. We must also take action. We must support independent media, share alternative perspectives, and engage in civil disobedience when necessary. We must be willing to stand up for what we believe in, even when it's unpopular. Section 11. Conclusion. A call to action. The internet, once a beacon of freedom, is now a battleground for our minds. Controlled opposition, with its carefully crafted narratives and deceptive tactics, threatens to enslave us all. But we are not powerless. By understanding the mechanics of control, by developing our critical thinking skills, and by taking courageous action, we can break free from this matrix of manipulation. The future of our minds, our societies, and our planet depends on it. This is a call to action. Question everything, think for yourself, and never stop fighting for the truth.